Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and Kevin is in the house. It's been a while. Uh,
Yeah,
Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, Mel. I
Thank you.
told you were going to have a wonderful trip with
You did.
Linda.
It was fun. And Kevin, I'm excited. I saw a picture of your newest baby, your newest addition, Finn,
Yeah,
your wonderful Australian cattle dog. What a cutie.
yeah, he's cute. He's pretty hyper, but he's getting better.
Well, that's
A
because
little
he's
bit
a
more
herding
mellow.
dog and they want to
Yeah,
herd. Does he nip your ankles? Because they'll do that sometimes.
he doesn't nip at my ankles. He definitely likes to walk around them, though. So trying to herd me when I walk, but
Um, Go out in the backyard, you and some friends, and kind of
mm,
spread out and let him out. And before you know it, he'll be running in circles and he'll have you
yeah,
like clustered together. That's how you work on it. But like with Lucky, when I'm coming down the steps, she'll stop halfway down and look back to see if I'm coming, or come behind me
hmm
and push me along. So that's just hurting behavior. But if you're walking and he's trying to hurt you, tell him just no.
yeah. I have an Australian cattle dog, so I have two herding dogs.
Lucky's a herding dog as well. So
Mm,
she's good. They have high prey drives. That doesn't mean they want to kill things. It's just that if it moves, they want to hurt it. They want to go, they
yeah,
want, it's their instinct. And
my
she,
uh, my
go ahead.
cattle dog likes to chase the birds and the squirrels.
Right. And you'll see sometimes if they see another dog or something, they'll get down like this. And people think, oh my God, that's aggression. It's not. That's just in their nature. When they're hurting, a lot of times they'll just lay low to the ground and watch.
Yeah.
So anyway, are you teaching him his basics?
Um, well, I don't know. I'm not really a dog trainer. I mean, like I said, he's getting better. He's not really having any accidents in the house. Um, rewarding good behavior with like treats and stuff like that.
Are you teaching him how's his walking on a leash, or sit, stay, come down, or things like that?
He'll sit, especially for a treat. He's definitely in that stage where he's not always the best listener, but he's getting better with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yay. As you know, I love dog training. So anyway, I've got some questions. So shall we get
Yes.
started?
All right, let's go.
Warm up those cards.
I have him ready.
The hooded psychic, or the hooded psychic Kevin's.
Yeah.
All righty. And how's the weather in Ohio?
It's good. I was outside mowing and doing some yard work earlier, and it was pretty hot, but it had a nice breeze to it.
The day before I left here, it was 90. The day I left to fly to Sedona to the retreat, it was like 58. And
Yeah.
out there, it was like in the high 80s. And then I came back here and it was like 55. It's warm today at 75, but it was like,
Yeah.
in Chicago, we get that nice taste of spring sometimes in May. Then we have a cold snap, then it gets warm
hmm
again. Goes
Yeah,
from
same
here
here.
to like, I know.
Yeah, I think it was like in the high 70s, low 80s here in Ohio.
At least in the South, we have the nice protracted springs. I miss that, but I don't miss the attitudes down there. So,
Yeah.
okay. Here, this one is Hawaii bound. I love it. Hawaii bound says, Aloha Hawaii bound. That's what I say. It means hello, goodbye, and love. Thank you to you both for sharing your day with us. Question: what are Beto's chances of winning Texas now since the unfortunate massacre of children in, I don't know if it's pronounced Uvalde, I think Uvalde. I know people are needing the change. Kids are scared, and I keep my kids in online school here in Texas. The
Yeah.
gun laws do not make me feel safe enough to send my kids to public school. Well, Hawaii bound, I have one rhetorical question. What gun laws in Texas? I don't think there are any.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I'll let you answer that one first, Kevin.
Well, I think he's definitely going to get some momentum. I know that Abbott was speaking, um, and Beto kind of was telling him that it was his fault he caused this. And so I do see some momentum really growing for Beto. I think it's going to be very close. I don't see him definitively winning yet. It's going to definitely be an obstacle and kind of an uphill climb in Texas, but I think it's going to be very, very close.
I think this could be a turning point for Beto, actually, because he had a certain part of the anatomy to stand up, and I saw
Yeah.
that and tell Abbott, this is your fault.
Hmm.
And I applaud him for having that courage. But the thing that really, uh, Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, I mean, I
Oh
swear,
yeah.
but come on, you're in public and he's calling Beto a son of a you know what and telling him to get off the effing stage and blah, blah, blah. If a Democrat had spoken that way, the repubes would have gone ballistic.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, so I think that'll help Beto's chances a lot.
Mhm.
I really do.
I
Uh,
think he's definitely going to gain momentum for doing that. Absolutely.
right. Uh, what is that? One of those people said, how do you stop a bad guy with a gun? A good guy with a gun, which is such BS. I mean, this guy went into a school and shot innocent kids.
Yeah.
What does it take in this country? Our gun violence is off the charts. And there were cops there were good people and they had guns. One lost his life. So that, what stops a bad guy with a gun, a good guy with a gun is a crock.
Yeah.
It's a crock.
Yeah. It's such a tragedy too. And I was reading somewhere today too that they're saying that now like the leading cause of death in children is gun related.
Gun violence.
It's just
I mean,
horrible.
there are, and what does the NRA say? Oh, more guns will keep America safer. Excuse me? We have more guns in this country than we have people, and gun violence is off the charts, and they have the unmitigated gall to say something like that. They should have canceled that convention that they're going to hold in Houston after that shooting in Texas.
Yeah. Well, and isn't it interesting too? Trump will be there, and you're not allowed to bring your guns to that convention. But they applaud anybody to take them anywhere else, going to the grocery store, whatever.
I'm glad that you brought that up. That's right. NRA, more guns makes America safer, but we're having our convention and you can't bring guns in.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
The hypocrisy just gets me insane. But yet, you don't want to have gun control laws to keep people from going into schools, killing our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hopping mad. And I
Well,
think, a lot of people are saying, this is it, we've had it. And that's what we need to say.
hmm
I mean,
Yeah, I just read on this yesterday, and I mean, obviously, it's just so tragic. Um, a lot of people are wondering when that gun reform will happen. I do see some movement for a bipartisan bill. I don't know if it has the votes. And I'm feeling, as the energy sits right now, that it's going to probably be more after midterms when they can do some filibuster changes. Um, but also, what I was picking up from my guides is if we can channel all of this anger and outrage, and call your senator, call your representatives, and keep up being consistent with it and telling and demanding change. We do have the free will to change the energy and get this done a lot sooner.
and vote them out.
Yes.
I mean, Abbott, I don't know. He just, oh, well, it's mental illness. No, it was a fascist who went into a grocery store, I mean, a week ago.
Yeah.
In in New York, and killed a bunch of people of color. I mean, that guy was a white fascist. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Well, a lot of the women that are going to be that have been outraged about abortion, a lot of independent women and even moderate Republican women and mothers are outraged by this. And a lot of them are going to vote Democrat, I feel, in the midterms to
I
demand
see
this
that
change.
too. What
And I
bothers
see
me,
rallies over, gun violence as well. Like with Parkland, a lot of the students going out and doing that.
well, in 2018, there was a big one here in Chicago, Our Lives Matter, after that gun shooting in that high school or whatever it was. Gary went out and marched. Gary and I went out and marched in that. But there's going to be a lot more protest and a lot of people demanding, and when the NRA says more guns will keep America safer, that's like me saying I'm being electrocuted and somebody says, well, turn up the current.
Right.
It's just bull hockey.
Yeah.
It really is. Mitch McConnell doesn't want to do anything about, you know, they talk about making it safer, but yet they don't want any kind of gun control legislation at all.
because they're all bought by the NRA.
Exactly.
And that's another big problem, is that we have to get these corporations and get away from, corporations donating money to our politicians. They should be federally ran elections, I think, and I think that we will make changes for that
I do see
because
changes in that, and I think the source of money is going to have to be revealed, and
yeah,
they're not going to be able to say that a corporation is a separate is a person.
right.
There's laws coming about. There's going to be changes coming about that. Absolutely, my guides tell me.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
But also, I think, um, that I think we're going to stand up and say we're tired of not being able to our kids can't go to school. We can't go to
Yeah.
shopping malls. We can't go grocery shopping, can't go to church, can't go to theater, can't go out for a walk without a fear of being shot. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, like Trump, Abbott, DeSantis, Cancun Cruz, all of those people who are in favor of the NRA, I see a lot of lawsuits. My guide shows me a lot of lawsuits filed against the NRA, and those lawsuits will win.
Yep. I agree. And I don't think that they're allowed to operate in New York anymore. Letitia James went after them, if I remember correctly. And I agree with you. I do see a lot of lawsuits against them. I see the NRA for a little while still having that connection with the GOP, but I see the NRA going down at some point in the next few years.
Me too. Hallelujah. Because what you hit on something, a lot of states are going to start banning the NRA in their states. And if that goes to the Supreme Court, it's really not against what is the Second Amendment? Not at all. I mean, I believe in the Second Amendment, but come on.
Me too.
I see a ban at some point coming on assault weapons.
Yep.
We can't, people, oh, well, I can own a gun. Okay, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But you have to pass a universal gun control. You have to should take classes in gun safety. You have to keep it out of the reach of kids. And furthermore, if there's any kind of history of mental illness, and you don't get a gun. Now, I'm not against the mentally ill. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it has to be stringent.
I agree. And I agree with you too. I mean, I'm not against the Second Amendment. I think that, you should be able to have a gun to protect yourself at home. And if you're a hunter, whatever, but also these military grade weapons, there's no place for that.
There are, we can't own bazookas, we can't own rocket launchers,
Right.
we can't own hand grenades. Okay, I mean, those military assault weapons are weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
And there's no need for us to have those.
I agree. And I agree with you too. I do see a ban on assault weapons.
So do I. And I see a lot of, what I see with the NRA is I think they went bankrupt, but they're going to go bankrupt again.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to lose their power. And you're right, it's coming hard and it's coming fast.
Yeah.
So, and, those people that supported them, I mean, Abbott was, in Texas, people just can carry a gun with no permit or nothing. And rather than address the issue, he talks about mental health. Oh, let's blame it on the mentally ill. No, how about the gun? How about the laws that allow this guy to get the gun in the first place?
Yeah.
Locks keep honest people honest. So, anyway, I'm on my bandwagon. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's horrible. I mean, I think it's affected all of us. But like I was saying too, we need to channel this anger and outrage and continue to protest and demand that our representation makes these changes. Most gun owners are for safe gun rules.
Absolutely.
And I think at least like 40% of the Republican Party, I think, is all for, some regulations on guns. So it's not like it's not a popular issue.
Well, Mitch McConnell doesn't want to do anything about it in the Senate. And, a lot of the repubes or a Cancun cruise. But you know what? Cancun cruise is going to be gone. Abbott's going to be gone. McConnell's going to be gone. And Trump is losing his grip too. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Abbott of Texas, Cancun cruise, Mitch McConnell, because they won't do anything. A lot of those Republicans that refuse to do anything about gun control, they have the blood of those kids on their hands.
Yeah.
They're as guilty as the murderer.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of lawsuits against the NRA, I'm telling you.
Do you feel like at some point too, like to be a gun owner, that you're gonna have to have some kind of insurance? I mean, you need insurance to drive a car. I mean, they should be held accountable at some point.
I would say the answer to that is yes. And to be a gun owner, ever so often you're going to have to, like with the driver's license,
Yeah,
the privilege. I mean, it's in the Constitution, the right to bear militia, but there has to be qualifiers to that. That you have to go through a gun safety class ever so often. If you get a felony conviction, then your guns are gone. All of the above. Universal background checks, but I'm not talking about through some podunk company. I'm talking about a thorough background check.
Yeah. I see all that happening in the next year or two.
And when a person purchases the gun, what I see is that the purchaser of the gun will be responsible before they can get the gun to pay for that background check.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before it's happening. It's a shame that it's taken this long for them to do something. And like I said, I feel like it's going to be probably another year or two. But
that's what I think. How many more people have to die?
Yeah,
it's horrible. And there's going to be more of this. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. Anyway. Okay. Hello from Switzerland. Ophelia Laurent. Hello from Switzerland. BBC News just said Russia has the advantage now in eastern region of Ukraine. Will the Ukrainians recover the eastern region? She said, I'm worried they will give up. Where are the Western weapons that were promised? Prayers for Ukraine. The Ukrainians will not stop fighting. They're not going to. And I understand that Lockheed is revising a lot of their fighter planes, and I think are revamping them. I can see a lot of those going over to Ukraine. And I also see Finland and Sweden joining NATO.
Yeah.
Hungary was trying to stand in the way, but I see everybody stepping around Hungary. And
it was Turkey that was standing in the way.
Oh, okay. But what about now?
I haven't heard anything new on it. I had read on it, I think, a week or two ago, and I do feel like there is some kind of backdoor connection to Russia. I feel like they were bribed, but I see their NATO membership being expedited. So something changes with that.
And I see it coming soon, within the next 4 or 5 months.
I think even sooner. I'm feeling like end of June, July.
Yay. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
And people are worried about, him deploying nukes. And I'm like, no. I mean, if he does, then it's even small tactical nuclear weapons, then it's going to escalate the war. But I keep telling everybody Putin's plan was to march through Ukraine and then take over the Baltic Republic, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. But he told Ukraine, if you don't join NATO, and they didn't, and he still invaded.
Yeah.
But I don't see a long life for Putin. I just don't.
I don't either.
I see illness all around him. So
what was the question again?
That Russia has the advantage in eastern region of Ukraine. Yeah. Will the Ukrainians recover that? And I say the answer is yes.
Yes, they will. And I think like it's kind of back and forth. Like like one moment Russia has more control, and then the Ukrainians fight back and gain. So it's kind of like going back and forth. I think that the weapons are already there, and they're going to continue to go there. And I feel planes are going to go there too to help with their air defense.
Yeah, I saw planes flying over,
Yes.
uh, shooting like missiles or something at the Russian forces. So,
I feel like they could already be there. I just don't know if they're announcing it yet.
that's a good point. I didn't see that. I think, but when you said that, I heard you're right.
Yeah, I just don't think they're announcing it yet.
And also a lot more drones.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ophelia, yes, they will take back over the eastern part. Okay. Well, we just answered this with Angela Beaudry. Will we get any changes with regards to gun control? My guides say yes, but they also show me this. You need to get on the phone, call your representatives, send them emails. Now it's time for our voices to be heard. We have to open our solar plexus chakras, take our power back, open the throat chakras, and speak up.
Yep.
Let this
Well said, Mel.
motivate us.
Yeah, and I see the
angry.
momentum still going with this for a while. I don't see it dying down, but also too, I think we need to channel that anger that we have and really do something about it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm letting the anger push me forward.
Yeah,
and
I'm getting chills as I said that too. So
that means truth and spirit presence. Yay. And I'm not going to be silent about it. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we can't be complacent on this. We've got to do our work. I keep saying the Democrats holding the House and the Senate, but the Dems need to do something like Beto. Look how much, he did something.
Yeah.
He
took a stance against it and really fought back. And I've been saying it for a while. And I do see Democrats doing this before terms too, is, they really need to call out the Republicans and continue to say, well, what are you doing to help everyday people to get these inflation rates down, to get these gas prices down? They're not doing anything. They're blocking everything.
A lot of it is left over from what Trump did, and we're feeling the aftermath of it.
Well, yeah, and can you imagine if Trump was still president right now, how worse the situation would be?
Oh my God.
Besides the fact that we would have lost our democracy.
If Trump were still president, Putin wouldn't have done anything to help Ukraine.
No.
Putin would have marched through Ukraine and already been up into Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. So.
But I do see Democrats, standing up, and they have to grow a little bit of a backbone. I'm sorry to say.
It's true.
They have to play fire with fire. The Republicans play dirty, and they need a little bit of that back. You can't just let them, keep getting away with it.
What my guides show me are more people that are fiery, like Elizabeth Warren, Beto. There was another woman I really like her. I can't think of her name. She's a young Democrat. Boy, she's fiery, and I see a lot of that's going to come front and center.
It's a lot of the new leadership coming in too, I feel.
That's right.
We're going to get in a place where, some of the older politicians that have been in there for a long time are starting to retire, and there's going to be newer, younger leadership, more progressive.
And a lot of Democrats are really going to speak up, and we demand gun control. We're not asking.
Yeah.
We're not begging. We're telling. We're demanding. And my guides say, if we take it from that stance, we will win. My guides are sure on that. If we take it from that stand, we're not asking, we're telling, we're demanding. And Moscow Mitch, Mr. Backpedaler.
I see him leaving after midterms, by the way, McConnell.
Really?
Ooh. I think he might be ousted.
Oh.
Or he's just had enough of it, and he was so sure he was going to be the majority leader. And I like I said before, I see that the Republican Party after midterms really fractures into two groups. And I think so many people have had enough of McConnell. I think he ends up resigning. And I don't think McConnell is in very good health either. So I think that might be part of it too.
I just had a light bulb flash in my head. What's going to start getting a lot of power again is the Lincoln Project. A lot of those were conservative Republicans that broke off from the Trumplican side. Now, I don't believe in, I don't support Republican politics.
Yeah.
But I do support the Lincoln Project because they're so anti-Trump.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
know,
I think that's going to be a big part too why I think Democrats are going to stay in power for the next few elections, because the Republican Party is just so messed up and literally split in half that they're just going to fight amongst themselves, and it's going to take them a while to rebrand. I do see them becoming a better party, like kind of like the Lincoln Project, where they're more, you know, stomachable to vote for. Um, but it's going to take some time, I think.
you know, how's that saying go with the Lincoln Project? If you're the enemy of of my enemy, then you're my friend. That's kind of how I see the Lincoln Project.
Yeah.
I support them because they're anti-Trump, and they're going to come front and center with, you know, gun control, better gun control legislation, bringing light on all these politicians, more light, like on Cancun Cruz,
Yeah.
Abbott, DeSatan in Florida. And now I hear this Dan Patrick is, you know, he's a whack job, the lieutenant governor in Texas. And now he's trying to do the same thing that DeSatan did in Florida and say, oh, the teachers can't teach gay. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? But you'll let a gunman come in and kill those kids. You're worried about them turning gay? Well, guess what? We didn't turn gay. It's not a choice. We were born.
Right. It's just so disgusting, and they're just playing to rally up, you know, the Trumpers, the QAnon people with you know, all their hate.
The problem in this
Disgusting.
country is that those people, Cancun Cruz, Rand Paul, Abbott, DeSatan, McConnell, that part of the Republican Party, the Trumplicans and Trump, has become bullies. And when you perpetuate people being bullies, you get violence.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, look what's going on. I mean, in some perverse way, they think it's okay to go out and kill a bunch of people, these shooters.
Right.
You know, they think fascism is okay, and it isn't. I don't know about what happened in Texas with that guy, but the one clearly in New York was racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I'm on my rant again.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say too, once the Republican Party, I feel like, does rebrand and they're, you know, a more palatable party, I do see them going across the aisle with Democrats on stuff too. I see bipartisanship coming back, but I think it's probably like 8-10 years out. It's a little while out there.
Well, unfortunately, the Trumplicans will still be around, but you know, they'll
They're going to
slowly.
go back in their caves.
Exactly.
It's
Well,
not
like,
going to be okay for them to spew that hate anymore.
well, it's, you know, what's going to happen. It's like when you get up in the middle of the night and you turn the lights on, all the cockroaches run to hide, and that's exactly what's going to happen. That's the vision my guide showed me.
Well, that's a good analogy for that.
Okay. Key of Love says, thank you all. Your real comfort during these terrible times, your insights and your calming voice. Well, I don't know how calming it was tonight because I'm on a roll. Anyway, Patty G, this is good, Patty G. Did it affect Beto yesterday when telling off Abbott on conference, telling him, Abbott, it's all on you? Now, did it give him more of a chance for governor? I really think that it opened a lot of eyes because a lot of people in Texas are hopping mad about that shooting, and it showed what a classless person that that Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick really is. I mean, I swear. But he called Beto a son of a, you know what, comes off the effing stage, blah, 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 blah. And then they had him escorted out. Now they're the first ones to talk about freedom of speech, but yet when Beto exercised his, they wanted to escort him out and very probably try to lock him up, which they didn't. So.
Well, he gave a press conference while they were doing their speech in there, which was great. So.
Oh, Beto did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. What did he say?
Yeah, as he was escorted out, he was talking, and while they were doing their speech or whatever it was that they were doing in there.
I really think that helped him a lot.
I do too. And
Uh,
like I said before, moms are angry, and especially independent women and um, more moderate Republican women. A lot of them are really worried about that, and I do see it making a difference. Now, I think Beto's made some when he was running for president, made some comments about guns that I don't think did him a lot of favors, because I do think that Texas is very pro-gun, but I do see a shift there, and I do think that that helped him.
well, nobody's trying to take away anybody's guns. All we're saying is we need to ban assault weapons and have universal background checks and, make these people, before they can purchase a gun, take a gun control or a class in owning a gun.
Yeah.
And and the license should be renewable ever so often.
Well, you know how the NRA and the Republicans are. That's what they turn it into. Democrats are coming to take your guns, which isn't the case.
I see the NRA like I saw a vision of Trump like a Humpty Dumpty, and I see them just falling off the wall, and
Yeah.
ain't nothing gonna put them back together again. They're gonna lose their power. You watch. My guides are strong about that.
I agree.
Okay. Personal transformation. How dangerous is Peter Thiel? Is it Thiel or Thiel? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't know who that is. I'm not.
Okay. This guy billionaire poured money into JD Vance's campaign to assure him a win on OH and Q. Is he trying to turn CNN into another network whose name we won't mention?
So he's part of CNN, and he donated a bunch to JD Vance. He's a Senate candidate in Ohio that just won. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah. No, wait,
I don't see CNN going.
Did JD Vance win in Ohio?
He did win in Ohio, yes. I think Tim Ryan's got it. It's going to be close, but I feel some kind of scandal coming up with Vance before the election. That's really.
Oh, do I? No, this is for governor, right?
It's for the Senate. Rob Portman is retiring, so he was the incumbent. He was a Republican, and we do have a Democratic. We have a Democratic senator as well. We have Sherrod Brown, but Tim Ryan's really for the working class. He's from Youngstown, so a lot of that area, a lot of those manufacturing jobs went overseas. So he's a big fighter for that, and I think he connects with some Republicans too.
Yeah, Bill did pour money into that campaign for JD Vance, because my guy just showed me like a faucet turning on, like a fire hose, and it's just pouring out money for Vance. But I agree. I didn't know that much about Ohio politics, but I don't see Vance winning.
I think it's going to be close. I mean, Ohio's definitely been more red in the last couple elections, but I see a big scandal coming out about Vance that isn't going to do him any favors. It's going to be pretty close.
My guides just showed me a pictogram of hot. It's going to be juicy. Okay. And Q, is he trying to turn CNN into, he is, but he won't succeed.
Yeah, I don't see CNN going, to the right.
No, I don't either. Okay. Skybird. Oh, I like that. Why are the repubes trying to expunge 45-second impeachment? I didn't hear that. I didn't know they were trying to do that.
I think probably Matt Gaetz or somebody crazy said that. That's not going to happen.
I laugh because Matt Gaetz thinks he's still not in trouble, but my guides show me him behind bars.
And just Satan's connected to I think he covered up some of that stuff, because I feel like Gates should have been in trouble a while ago. It got delayed somehow, and DeSantis was involved in that.
I'm sorry.
It will come out before.
I couldn't hear the last part of your statement.
I said DeSantis kind of. I feel like Matt Gaetz should have already been arrested or started his trial by now, and I think that DeSantis delayed it somehow. But I see it coming out before the midterms and affecting him.
Oh, he is going to end up in jail. You watch.
Yep.
Pity. Wonder how he's going to look in those orange sliders.
He's got some time too. I don't think it's just a minor slap on the wrist. I think it's like 5 or 6 years.
And you know who else is going to face their Waterloo is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's going to be so much that comes out. January 6th, public testimonies come out in, I think, like 2 weeks now. Just wait. Everybody get your popcorn ready.
she is living proof that Neanderthals really do still exist. That's what I'm going to call her, the blonde Neanderthal.
That's a fitting name.
I just thought of that. Thank you, guys.
There's quite a few Republicans that were giving tours and really, really involved in the insurrection. And she is, and Matt Gaetz is one of them. And I think that's where you're picking up jail and big investigations. Absolutely.
Well, I think she had her hand in telling people where some of those rooms were
Oh, yeah.
and all those tours and had their hands in tearing out that panic button.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people suspect that she was one of the ones involved with placing the bombs, explosives by the DNC. I think that she knew what was going on with that, but I don't think it was her. But I do think that it was a woman that looked kind of similar to her, a blonde-haired woman, and a male involved in it.
I don't think it was her, but I do think there was a male and a female involved, and they're going to find out who did that, by the way.
I think they already know. I just don't think that.
And
I think they're
behind
waiting
closed
for some of this
doors,
stuff to come out.
behind closed doors, Merrick Garland is doing a lot of work that we don't know about. They're keeping a lot secret, but it's going to come out. And I think actually it's better that the January 6th commission waited till June. First of all, they said they were going to do it in March and April and May.
Yeah.
But I think it's better to wait because it's going to be explosive.
Oh, yeah.
But I chuckle because I mean, it's going to be like many, many years ago. I wasn't even born yet when I Love Lucy premiered on Monday nights. Everything closed down. All the stores closed because people were watching I Love Lucy.
Right.
And that's what it's going to be like with this January 6th commission going public. And so it's closer to the midterms.
Yep. It's going to be like the Watergate trials. Everybody was glued to it. I mean, I wasn't alive during then, but
I was.
I mean, they're not going to show it on Fox News, and the Trumpers aren't going to pay attention. They just deflect anyway and live in their own alternative reality.
Yeah,
but
all the other networks are going to carry it. And I think they were only going to do so many live ones, but I think they'll do more than what they've said.
I think it's 6 or 8 that they're planning on doing.
I see more.
I think a couple of them were primetime slots, though.
But more, Kevin.
Yeah. It's going to go on all throughout the summer. And like I said, I think that that's a real galvanizing force for Democrats and even independents to come out and vote Democratic. There's going to be some moderate Republicans that voted for Biden that are kind of sick of the Trump part of the party that will vote Democratic too, I feel.
And I still see new justices on the court because Ginny Thomas, they ain't done with her either. And her husband, Clarence, he ain't done either. I mean, as far as looking into dark money and all that, and all that's going to come to light.
Yep, I agree.
It's
I feel like it's a domino effect. Like it's one thing after another and after another. Trump's got some really bad months ahead, but a lot of Republicans do too.
I wonder what sign he is.
Who, Trump?
Yeah.
I think he's a Gemini.
Figures.
Yeah. Sorry, Gemini.
That's nothing bad about Gemini, guys.
Yeah.
Please Geminis don't call me up, okay? But what I see with those hearings is, it'll be on all the networks except for one whose name we won't mention, but also on YouTube and a lot of social media. And people are going to be watching by the millions. It's kind of funny. Let's hope by then that the Johnny Depp trial will be settled. Because
right.
Everybody's glued to the YouTube about that.
I was having so many people ask me about that on my show too, but then I was getting some people mad about it because they were like, I don't want to hear about it anymore.
I don't like to go public and make those kind of predictions because I think it's intrusive into those stars' lives.
Yeah, that's true.
But all I'm going to say about it is this. It ain't looking too good for Amber.
And Johnny Depp, I see his career taking off after this again.
Yeah, I do. I see his career reigniting. Hers is going to be dog meat. but his
Yeah.
is gonna take, well, that's a sin to do that to the dogs. His will be taking off.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, sweetie darling Lulu, there she is. I love that name. Since Ukraine is starting to rebuild itself, how progressive will its infrastructure be? Well, let's don't jump the gun yet. They're not, they're kind, I don't know if they're rebuilding, but they will.
Yeah.
And
I
some of
think they're redoing some stuff, like their capital. Like there's some buildings that they're redoing, but it's not like it's like a major rebuilding program right now.
well, I think a lot of those beautiful old buildings that were destroyed, they'll rebuild kind of like what they were.
Mm,
Um, but when ultimately they do rebuild, it's going to be a really decent infrastructure, a really
yeah.
good infrastructure, like, good subways, train systems, public transportation, good housing, all of that.
I think it's going to take a long time for them to rebuild, but I think after this is over, I see all of Europe like uniting to help Ukraine rebuild.
A light bulb just went on my head. My guides just showed me and told me that Russia will have to make reparations for the
They
damages
will.
that they've done to Ukraine.
I think a lot of that oligarch money that they're taking too, I think is going to go towards that.
And at some point, Ukraine is going to get nuclear weapons back.
Mm. Oh yeah, that's right. They haven't been able to have that for a
Well,
while, have they?
because there was a treaty that they agreed to
With
do
Russia, yeah.
with Russia, but now Russia's broken that. So how much you want to bet? And you know what? Ukraine knows where Russia's hiding their nukes. So all they have to do is target some of those facilities and blow them up.
Yeah.
All right. Carrie Butcher says, hi, Mel and Kevin. Can you both tell us if Boris Johnson ever resigns as UK's prime minister? I don't know if he'll resign, but I see him out of power.
Hmm.
The Sue Gray reports say there was a lack of leadership throughout the Partygate scandal. Well, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Will he give up being the leader of Great Britain? I don't see him in power. He's their version of Trump, and he's going to be gone. But there's a lot of scandals. More scandals that's going to come out
Yes.
about him too.
I was going to say they're money related, and I think they're related to dark money and money from Russia.
And he's going to be in a lot of legal trouble.
I think that I'm not sure when he's up for re-election. I'm not sure when that is, but I feel like he's in for a little while longer, but not too long. I could see him resigning over it.
The British people will turn their backs on him.
Yeah.
Look what I pulled.
Oh, then that could be. He has a globe in his hand, and I'm feeling Russian money associated with him too.
I'm hearing a yes to that.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's on top of the world, but not gonna be.
Yeah.
I see somebody else coming to power in Great Britain who will be more moderate, but really a great prime minister. And by the way, the Queen is very ill. I don't think she's going to be with us much longer.
Yeah, I felt that for a little while too, and not even so much of the illness. She's really struggling since her husband's passed.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she's going to go joining him soon, but people are wondering about what's going to happen to the monarch after she crosses over. I don't see an end to the British monarch. I just don't. I mean, I see the monarchy lasting. I don't think her son's going to be the king very long.
I agree. I don't feel like he's going to be king for very long, if at all, which I know as of right now that's the plan. But I don't see the monarchy ending over there, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes. It's going to become a lot more progressive when William's king.
Right. I just see a whole change coming in Great Britain for the better. And I got a funny feeling they're going to be back in the European Union at some point.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think they're already kind of talking about it. Since Brexit's been such a disaster.
Well, yeah, because there's power in numbers.
Yeah.
So a lot of those European countries are going to want to join NATO. And if Turkey stands in the way, they can still oust a country from NATO.
Yeah, I see them changing their mind on it. I don't see it. I see them changing their mind very soon because I was reading on it before, and I think that they're gonna come in. I wouldn't be surprised if it was June, July. It's like a month or two. I
Okay.
mean, timing's always a little hard, but I feel the energy really ramping up
Yeah,
for them
time is hard.
numbers.
Okay, Irene Vera wants to know. Hi, Mel and Kevin. My question is, what will happen to all the thugs here in Texas? Will they lose their position and not get reelected since the latest school shooting? And prayers for all. Can't pronounce. Is it Uvalde? Uvalde? Anyway,
I'm not sure what the city's called.
everybody, while we're doing this, let's just take, before we answer that, Kevin, I think we should just take one brief second for the people who lost their lives, the kids who lost their lives, and for their family members who have got to be devastated.
Yeah.
Sending healing energy and love to them. Okay, so all the thugs, I see, this is going to overturn a lot, I'm telling you. And especially since it's almost like giving the middle finger when they allow the NRA to go ahead and do that thing in Houston. The state of Texas should have canceled that, but because Cancun Cruz, Abbott, Cheeto Head, and Dan Patrick, oh no, they had to have their rally. That is the middle finger, in my opinion, to the people who died in Uvalde.
And that's going to backfire on them too, holding that too.
Huge.
I feel something.
Huge.
I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like there's something that isn't great because of that. I see a lot of backlash.
It's going to be, you know what? I just saw a huge mushroom cloud as a backlash, like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Figuratively, it's going to be a huge backlash. Huge. I mean, if they were any kind of leaders, they would have said, okay, after this shooting, we're postponing the NRA thing.
Yeah.
And people are going to be marching out there, and you watch, there's going to be protesters.
I was just going to say that.
And they're going to try to arrest those protesters. And I see some violence coming.
Maybe that's what I was feeling, because as you were talking to right before you said protesters, I saw the streets full of people around it.
That's what I see. And they start to arrest them, they're going to fight back.
Yeah. And I really see too, I don't think all the Republicans in Texas are going to be voted out, but my guides are showing Texas is purple.
That's what I keep saying. So everybody in Texas, we send our sympathy and our empathy to the people of Uvalde. And if you all want to change stuff, get out and vote and exercise your right to protest. Show up and show your support against the NRA.
Yeah, very well said, Mel. I agree.
They talk about right to life with the whole abortion thing. They can tell a woman what to do with her body, and they're worried about an unborn child, but yet they don't want to do gun control, and they let people go in and murder kids. So how can they even talk about right to life?
Well, that's kind of the issue too. They're so concerned with what a woman does with her body, and they're so worried about a fetus, but what do they do to help that fetus when it's born? Nothing. They don't care about anything after the baby is born.
And you know what's going to happen? A lot of the mistresses of some of those ultra right-wing politicians who's so anti-abortion are going to come forward, you watch, and say that they had an abortion. And some of those politicians against abortion, all right, those mistresses are going to say that that politician forced them to do it.
And paid for it, yeah.
There's going to be at least 3 women coming forward against 3 different politicians. So
yeah, that's really resonating with me too, as you said that, Mo.
Okay. Harriet Smith. I love both you and Kevin together. Thank you, Harriet. Are we already too far out to ever come back to some form of normal? You know what, Harriet? That's a really good question. I think it's sad that we become numb to a lot of these shootings and that we don't even have a sense of normalcy anymore.
Yeah.
At some point, I see a lot of this gun violence ending. If we don't do anything about it, we're going to lose our democracy. And so right now, it's critical. We have to speak.
Yeah, and it's getting a little old with all these Republicans just sending their thoughts and prayers for the people affected. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm looking
action
at
needs to be
TV.
taken.
NRA to hold convention in Houston days after Texas school shooting. That's it's looking bad for them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
there's going to be massive protests outside of that.
I see it. And I feel bad for for the kids that were murdered, obviously, but I heard one
Yeah.
story about a little boy who saw his friend get shot in the face. I'm like, oh dear God, we
Yeah.
can't even send our kids to school. Think about what that kid's going to have to deal with the rest of his life. Think about the kids that died. They might have been future presidents, future doctors, future scientists. What a waste. It's just horrible.
Well, it's because, we haven't done anything, but, and I agree. I mean, it's awful, but also I think that there's some purpose in their death to get this kind of stuff done. It's just a shame that it's taking so long and it keeps happening.
If we don't speak up and stand up against gun violence and demand gun control, then we're just as guilty as those politicians who won't do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't want blood on my hands. I mean, we have to take a collective responsibility in this.
We have to vote, and we need to make sure that we keep calling our senators and Congress people and demand change.
Oh, I sent an email to Satan in Florida, and I put, it's okay to say gay. And you know what I heard back? Nothing.
I'm sure you didn't hear anything.
I did. And I told everybody, I want you to do this. In Florida, go to their state website, and I want you to send their governor a message and saying it's okay to be gay. And everybody in this country, everybody watching this, go on your computer, go to the Texas governor website and say, we demand background checks and we demand gun control. I mean, that's a way to start.
Yeah, and then we can't get complacent with it. It's something that we have to do until these changes happen.
And
Like my guide said, we have the free will to change this and to expedite it quicker.
And they need to boycott the NRA.
Yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth G. Hello. When will Postmaster Joy be fired? Hopefully tomorrow at 2:30. Will it be next June? I thought he'd be fired before now, but you know how timing is.
Okay.
But I see him gone.
Yeah, he's definitely leaving, and he is part of an investigation.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that. Absolutely.
Yeah, Garland's got something. They have a lot of information on how they were delaying it for the mail-in votes. I see him gone here very soon. I know that we keep saying it, but it is going to happen here soon.
It's going to happen. Okay. Melody Prosser asks, is human trafficking part of the political corruption in the US and abroad? Are politicians making money from it? Well, some are.
Well, some are, yeah.
And there's
sad to say, yes, some are.
Exactly. I mean, look at what Matt Gaetz did.
I was going to say, there's a big problem in Florida, I feel.
There is. Entertainment.
And then Ohio, I think, is a big trafficking state. But I feel like it's really big in Florida, too.
Isn't it horrible that a teacher can't talk about LGBTQ, gay, in schools down there, but yet they don't say anything about Matt Gaetz allegedly having sex with a minor?
Yeah. Well, I see it becoming a huge, huge scandal.
It is. It's going to be huge. There's another atomic bomb going off.
It's going to happen before midterms, too, because I really feel him out before.
Kevin, there's going to be so much doo-doo coming out before midterms against people like that. You ain't going to believe it.
Like I said, a domino effect. Just wait.
Oh, you ain't seen. You're right. It's going to be whoa. Okay. Lorraine Filletta asked, will things get better all over the world in our lifetime? Less hate, a little more love of light or respect for all kinds of people. You know, I thought that before Cheeto had took office, when we had Obama, when he was first elected, I thought that we had put the racism, or at least a lot of it, to bed in this country and
Yeah.
in the world. We had peace. Well, not peace. We were still in Afghanistan, but um, you know, there's a small group of people that are fascists that'll always be there, that hate others. But it's up to the rest of us to stop them. And
I
so
see it coming to an end at some point, but it's going to take time. Like I said, a lot of them, it's not going to ever completely end. But Trump made it okay for he ignited that anger in people, and really we're evolving as a collective, and the earth is ascending. And with that, a lot of negative has to be exposed for us to get that wake up call. And a lot of us are getting it, but it takes time.
I think it's risen the collective consciousness of a lot of us to say we won't
Yes.
tolerate hate, bigotry, injustice.
Yes.
But it's just sad that we had a supposed president who I call an authoritarian dictator, who, you're right, who made it almost okay to engage in racism and hate. When there was that thing in, I forget what state it was, Virginia, West Virginia, when the neo-Nazis were marching, and he had the gall to say, well, there were some good people there too. I'm like, what?
Well, and when he was campaigning, what he was saying about Mexicans. I mean, it was all hate, but that's what got them excited, and they thought it's been hidden and suppressed for a long time. So we kind of needed Trump and somebody that made them feel okay for it to be exposed. As I didn't realize it was as bad as it was before Trump.
I didn't either, but I do think that I see a lot more people speaking up out of anger. We can still love and be angry,
Yeah.
and making hopefully a lot more equality for people, and that's what I do see.
Well, and I think it's too, if you use that anger and as like a motivation to speak your truth. Absolutely, it can be a good motivator to get us out.
Oh, I'm looking at Ted Cruz on the TV, and with that, whatever he's got, I just want to pull that. I'm not violent, but you know what we could do? We could tell him it's some kind of facial conditioner or shaving cream, and it's Nair. It takes all that. Hairless Ted. I'm bad. I don't know.
You know what? And I think that he's in so much scandals. I don't feel like he will be one of those, sorry to say, that end up going to jail. I think that he's a snake and he knows how to cover his tracks. But I don't think he's going to run for re-election.
Ted Cruz is living proof that human beings really did copulate with mountain goats. Am I going to go to YouTube jail or what?
I don't know. You're on a roll tonight, Mel.
I'm on a roll. Okay. Jen T, will we get an assault rifle ban with the new Senate after November midterms? I do see an assault rifle ban. The answer to that is yes. Okay. Hi, Mel and Kevin. Glenn Kirshner posted a video the other day talking about Rudy Giuliani's interview with the 1-6 committee. He thinks Rudy may have a pocket pardon since he didn't plead the fifth at all. Do you think he got one? Do you think Trump also gave himself a pocket pardon? I don't know if Trump can give himself a pardon, but I think behind the scenes, they probably cut some kind of deal with Rudy. You help us. However, they've got other stuff on Rudy, and I still see Rudy indicted.
I do too. And you know what? I hadn't heard that he didn't plead the fifth. I just read on him, and I felt like he wasn't very cooperative. But I also feel like he wasn't prepared, and he was very anxious and nervous during his testimony, and he definitely slipped his tongue a couple times.
Okay. TK, this is good. Oh, that last question was by Sherry Pate or Pate. Thank you, Sherry. TK, thank you, Mel and Kevin. Being Ukrainian, all questions I have in my mind and my heart are about Ukraine. It looks like Putin's agents are successfully slowing down the process of weapon delivery to Ukraine by planting seeds of giving Russia a break, accepting their current positions in Ukraine, and starting peaceful talks. Will the Russians succeed? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't see
it. It's a ploy. It's a ploy, and it's going to bite everybody in the butt. You'll see. It's a ploy. Will the weapons be given to Ukraine on time, or will Russia get enough time to regroup and resume their efforts of distorting Ukrainian citizens' culture and cities? Thank you. Well, it is a ploy on the side of Putin to try to regroup, but the Ukrainians are wise to that. It's not going to work.
And like I said before too, I feel a lot of the weapons that were sent, they have.
Giselle, go
They're
ahead.
definitely trying to slow it down. And I think they've been successful with, maybe destroying some of the weapons coming in, but overall, no, I see the weapons going in.
I see a lot more weapons coming forth.
Yeah.
I'm just looking on TV. GOP response to shootings, harden schools. So what's that supposed to mean?
Probably give teachers guns.
It's not going to work.
No.
A gun, a little handgun is not going to stop an assault weapon.
Well, and even in Texas too, they had somebody outside that was armed, and they let him in. I mean, they didn't stop him from going inside. So
One policeman
what's that going to do?
And I think one police officer in Texas lost his life. So it goes to show you that, you know what, a handgun or a 9mm, I mean, it's like fighting a tank with a pea shooter. You ain't going to get anywhere. So harden schools. That's like saying I'm being electrocuted and they're saying, oh, turn it. It's just bull hockey. Okay. Giselle 222, this is good. Wondering if the students and teachers who passed at Sandy Hook were there to help those in Texas cross over. I think the souls that lost their lives in Sandy Hook are probably crying because of what happened in Texas.
I do feel like they were there to support them.
They were there for them. The answer is yes. But I see them all surrounded by a bright light holding hands, and giving the rest of us courage so that this doesn't happen to other children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mary, well, we've already answered that. Mary Nixon wanted to know when Joy is leaving. Okay. C.S. Lavi wants to know, will Biden use executive power, one, for strict gun control? You know what? He is going to use executive power. Yes.
I don't think that it's going to be something. I think there's limitations on what he can do, but I do see him doing something.
He will do as much as he can as provided by the power of the law. That's what I'm hearing. Number two, strict laws for racist, homophobic hate crimes. Well, now they were picking on Roe v. Wade. Now they're going to start picking on us. And next on the agenda is gay marriage, but they might try to overturn it, but I don't see that. Do you?
I don't see that happening.
So it's
anything that they're doing now is just kind of a temporary thing because we both see new justices being put in.
And at some point, I think we're going to be a protected group as well. I mean, affirmative action is going to come back. It will. And number three, 100% absolved student debt for the last 10 years or so for students and parents. She said, merci, how you say merci, whatever.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci. I don't speak French.
I don't either.
Miami. I understand some of it, but I don't speak it. I don't know if it'll be 100% absolution of student debt, but I see really, really lowering low interest rates and absolving a big part of it. Yes.
I agree. And I've been saying it for the longest time, as you know. I feel before the midterms, Biden is going to do some student debt relief. I think it's going to be smaller in the amount, like probably 10, maybe 20,000. But I feel after midterms, them doing legislation to really work with that.
Okay.
And make the schools, the colleges more affordable too.
Yes, I see that as well. Okay, I got time for one more. I love this name. Right. Rama Lama Grama. It looks like Rama Lama Grandma, but Rama Lama Grama. Okay. Love to you and Kevin. Love to you too, Rama. Okay. Can you guys talk about the current energy and clearing of accumulation of the patriarchy? Even with all the horrendous events recently, I can't help but feel we'll move through this darkness to a better future. I do see we'll move through this darkness. I see a time in America when we're not going to be ruled by old, white, racist men. I mean, I'm 68. I ain't no spring chicken,
Mhm.
but I see a lot more younger people who are more moderate uh, and who believe in equality and in the things that America's built on coming to power.
Absolutely, and we're definitely heading more into like a yin and yang, like that masculine, feminine energy being balanced.
Right.
Um, and we keep on. I mean, we're seeing more and more women run for higher office. There, that balance is definitely getting there, and at some point, I think it's going to switch from more of a masculine society to more of a feminine. It's a while out there, but
I see it balanced, but I see equality coming for women too. So
absolutely
we're not going to be uh, so much focused on gender, and it's just about who can do the job.
right.
It's not going to be, you know, oh, so you're right, so male dominated.
Yeah.
There's a word for that. I was trying to think of it, but I can't. Oh, what is that called? Um, like the good old boy syndrome going away.
Hmm. Like some of that toxic masculinity.
Exactly. Um, oh, there's a name for it. It's right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. Oh shoot! Well, as soon as we're done, it'll hit me.
Right, that's how it normally works.
I hate that when you've got it, you just can't get it. um, Chauvinistic. Uh,
Oh, yes.
I see the chauvinism ending at some point. And
It's
I
gonna take some time, but it's balancing out more now
at
too.
some point it's going to be equal pay for equal jobs. I see that going through. Um, and insurance companies will have to pay for birth control. They pay for Viagra for men, but they won't pay for birth control for
Mhm.
women. Come on. So I see fairness coming there too. Okay, I said one more. We just go one more.
All right.
Okay, Lisa Massey. I read an article about abortion clinics setting up along the border towns in Mexico to dispense abortion pills and do abortions to any woman who wants help in Mexico. I uh, it talked to several women that have already gone there for abortions. My question, will these clinics be able to give help to those in the US until laws go into place by the Dems to stop what the Republicans in the Supreme Court are doing as far as birth control and abortions? I see a lot more of those clinics cropping up, and that can be good and bad because before Roe v. Wade, women were dying of botched abortions,
Yeah.
and there has to be a medical standard. Um, there will be some decent clinics and some really bad ones. And unfortunately, a lot of women are going to get very sick and some die because of them trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. Um, uh, um, I think some of those states are going to try to say that any woman who's pregnant who goes out of state for an abortion commits a felony.
Yeah.
That won't hold up. And some of those repubes are even trying to say we're going to ban birth control. That's such BS. They're not going to win
I
it.
don't see it going that far, but yeah, they're definitely talking about it.
Right. Okay.
But as of going to Mexico, I feel like there's maybe some roadblocks too, like what you were saying, like Abbott in Texas, you know, giving felonies to people that cross state or country lines to do that. But it's not going to be. I'm not feeling like that is going to really be necessary because I feel like this is going to be very, very short lived. I'm telling you. And
That's
I feel
right.
like after midterms, even if the Supreme Court hasn't shifted yet, I feel like there's going to be federally passed, you
That's what
know,
I was. Yep.
abortion rights.
I see more justices on the court too.
Yes,
Okay.
I do too.
Hi, Mel and Kevin. Will anything happen at the NRA convention? This is Emmy. We talked about that. Any backlash over all the shootings? Absolutely. Will the former guy, Trump, ever get hit in the face with a pie? Well, he already got hit over the head with orange hair dye. So maybe orange on the face might look bad either.
I can't remember too. On Rachel Maddow, it was a little while ago. He was, I think he was in court or something like that, and saying how he was so scared of being thrown, people throwing tomatoes at him and like weird fruit, and saying how dangerous it was. So bizarre. I don't know, but
Well, how about some kind of rotten peaches or something to match his head?
something.
I'm on a roll. All right, Kevin, how do they get a hold of you?
You can email me at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. I do Reiki, energy healing, and my psychic readings. And please go over to my channel and subscribe. It's Kevin Loving Vibrations on YouTube.
Did you ever get your phone number?
I've been using my my regular number, especially for like Reiki treatments. I think it's easier just to talk on the phone rather than do Zoom.
Do you want to pass that out?
Just email me and I can give that out.
Okay. So I'll just have them go to your Kevin Loving Vibrations. That's your YouTube.
Yes.
Do you need me to have them go there? And then, yeah, I'll just have them go there, right?
Yeah. And it's the same
contact-
for my email. It's at gmail.com.
But Kevin Loving Vibrations or Vibration?
It's Kevin Loving Vibrations.
Okay. The same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. I should know that. But I can never remember there was an S on the end of it.
I think on my channel, I think it's Kevin's Loving Vibration. My email is Kevin, so singular, Loving Vibrations with an S at gmail.com. So it's a little bit different.
So everybody to go to Kevin's YouTube channel, subscribe, join. I'm on my YouTube channel. When they join, I'm gonna, if they join for a year and stay a member for a year, they're gonna get a free Aloha shirt.
Oh, nice.
And something, I'll think of a mug or something, and a discount on a reading. So get a reading from Kevin. He's amazing.
Thank you.
And you know, y'all better book those readings because he's starting to get busier than a one-arm wallpaper hanger.
It's been starting to take off, and I just recently started doing like the remote Reiki, and with that, it's been really, pretty good.
Good. Yeah. One of these days we'll do a show about your healing. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Next week on my channel.
Yes, next week, Kevin's channel. And you all be sure to hit the thumbs up. And but check out Kevin's channel, subscribe. And we're gonna have the cool crone on at some point too.
Yes, I'm looking forward to working with her.
And Linda Grindle's gonna be on with us too at some point.
Sounds good. I was gonna actually reach out to Linda, maybe see if she'd want to do something on my channel. So hopefully something happens here soon.
We'll do it. Okay.
Right.
You stay well.
Thank you, Mel.
Give your husband a hug, give that dog a treat. And, stay well. Stay honest when I turn the recording off.